Mais le Cameroun, c'est également un pays qui a doté le monde de talents extraordinaires, des fils et filles qui, bien que loin du pays, font la fierté de la terre de leurs ancêtres. Ici ou ailleurs, dans les gènes de chaque Camerounais réside une détermination à réussir, une volonté inébranlable à briller, un fighting spirit des meilleurs et un esprit de vainqueur qui le pousse à travailler avec ardeur et à exceller dans chaque domaine, quels que soient les obstacles. C'est ce que j'appelle la Camère Excellence. Célébrons l'excellence camerounaise.
Our country is said to be the embodiment of Africa. Across the center, from north to south, from east to west, its more precious treasures are its men and women. We are all different. Still, we all share the same feeling. We are proud to be Cameroonian.
En Afrique, Dieu a créé un pays exceptionnel, le Cameroun. Une Afrique en miniature en raison de ses multiples ressources naturelles. Mais le Cameroun, c'est également un pays qui a doté le monde de talents extraordinaires, des fils et filles qui, bien que loin du pays, font la fierté de la terre de leurs ancêtres.
To this another edition of the Papers. Yeah, the Papers, we discuss issues in the press, and of course we know that the press this week actually make mention of what actually is happening at the Bafoussam General or the Bafoussam Hospital, where Professor Eno George actually came out with a release saying that a caution fee of 50,000 francs CFA has to be paid before treatment of any patient. What is your take on that? That will be our major topic, but we shall have other issues to discuss in the papers today. Well, a jingle before we come back to present our guests this afternoon. Akong Bellingham, he is a journalist. Akong Bellingham, we say good afternoon and welcome to the papers.
Afternoon, Tabby Clarkson, and afternoon to this great panel and to millions of televiewers of this institution. And thanking you once more for inviting me today to highlight some of issues that which is Cameroon today.
Sitting beside you is a young lady. They call her Gina Blessed. Blessed, how are you today?
I'm very fine. Thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity to help me decry some of the mores, some of the ills that are happening in our society, which we have to, by all means, I mean by all means, try to look for a solution to them. Thank you.
We are discussing issues in the paper. We say thank you for coming, Gina Blessed. Yes, of the communications department. I know that you are from the PAP, Gina. I know that you are from the PAP. You are from the CRM. We say good afternoon and welcome, Mbaraoul. Good afternoon, Sir Tabby Clarkson. Good afternoon to the millions and televiewers watching this prestigious program. Special greetings to the management of this, because it's not easy to have these bright images. As we are going to review what is making news in Cameroon, I want to believe that we are not just coming just to keep on criticizing, but at least to give concrete solutions to see how we can solve the numerous crises that is tearing our country apart. Thank you once more for inviting me.
We are discussing issues in the papers, issues actually treated by journalists, men and women of the media. We shall be having now the review. But before the review, again, another jingle before we come back. Now we shall now see what the papers actually discuss this week. We begin with the post. Government violates forestry law in attribution of lodging rights to Camvert, and we know that some of these forestry law are not actually in favor of some Cameroonians who are complaining day in, day out. And below we can see that the indomitable lions already, we are thinking about the World Cup travel to Qatar with the indomitable lions. And of course, can we have another paper, another item treated by certainly the Post or the Guardian Post? Can we have the Guardian Post or the Post again? This time is emergence that talks of COVID-19, zero prevalence annus. Simply means that there is no increase as to what concerns the COVID-19 pandemic or the COVID-19 disease. Well, Baba Dampulo, the Guardian Post says Baba Dampulo, victim of xenophobia in South Africa. And equally, we can see below the diplomatic row feared as Equatorial Guinea intensifies expulsion of Cameroonians. The personality of the week there, we are seeing Dorothy, Professor Dorothy Njoma. She used to be, of course, Minister of Education in this country and equally rector in the University of Yaoundé 1. Can we have another paper, Économie, le quotidien, initiative là à la RT inquiet des équipements modernes pour accroître sa performance. Can we have another newspaper with the collaboration of Roland and of course Ambela? We have at CRTV Southwest Outdoor Program, Professor Njoma prefers 10 states to 2 state federation. Says these who lost power influence went returned to 1961 form of state. Professor Julius Ngo equally intervenes them. So Joma says she prefers a 2. Can we come back to the other paper, please? As Joma strikes greedy launch. Yeah, we are talking of Professor Joma prefers 10 states to 2 state federation. I think that will be an interesting one that, of course, will catch the attention of many in this studio today. Can we continue with the Guardian Post saying that Professor Joma strikes greedy long-throat Fako indigents as what concerns land grabbing. Can we continue? The Guardian Post again. We are talking the Bafoussam Regional Hospital with Minister orders director to cancel decision that set West Region on fire. And we made mention of this decision at the start of the program. Can we continue? We have the Post again. We have read this one before. Another newspaper. The CPDM. This is l'Action. November 6, 2022. CPDM gets set. The 40th anniversary of President Paul Biya's accession to the Supreme Magistracy will be celebrated in pomp and pageantry by CPDM militants who have supported a New Deal since his inception. That was, of course, on the 6th of November 1982 that President Paul Biya came to power after the resignation of President Amadou Ahidjo on the 4th of November 1982. We talk again in the Guardian Post. They say
Dr. Formignon recounts role in impacting democracy in Africa. And we know that in Cameroon we equally talk democracy, and we know that it's a quest, it's a permanent quest as what concerns democratic moves in Cameroon and Africa. Cameroon Tribune talks of football Camerounais qui sera Ballon d'Or. We know that the ceremony will be tomorrow at the Yaoundé Conference Center, and of course it will be presided by a sports minister, and other dignitaries will be present at the Yaoundé Conference Center, with notably the presence of the president of the Football Federation. They call him Samuel Eto'o. I will begin with you, Akong Belinga. We just watched the newspapers, some of the papers of the week. What caught your attention?
We're talking of football just at the eve of another World Cup competition built for Qatar in November. And we've been seeing in stadiums across the country how man crowd answered in the name of spectators, especially with the arrival of the new president of the Cameroon Football Federation, Samuel Eto'o. What can really stop my attention is the Ballon d'Or ceremony that will take place tomorrow, especially to once more galvanize local players that may be chosen in upcoming days, and to encourage.
So you are saying that organizing such a ceremony is a motivation?
Yeah, can boost younger players for them to either work harder in what concerns so far football.
Are you saying that Samuel Eto'o has or is revamping Cameroon's football?
We can say yes is an answer, but with encouragement of other stakeholders that also give encouragement to all activities marking football in Cameroon. It's not just the president himself, but if players could not appreciate the way he's managing since he came at the helm of this institution. So
it was on the 17th of December.
December 2020.
Yeah, so 2021 that he came.
Already that players also and supporters entering stadiums could also once more boost the football in Cameroon.
Do you love football, Gina?
So I'm not a fan of football. I don't even enjoy it.
So when the Indomitable Lions play, you don't watch the game?
I don't. Maybe once in a while when my children are like, we want to see what our people are doing. That's when I just say, let me pass my eye, but I don't really pay interest in.
So if the PAP takes over power today, you people will not be interested in football?
Not that we won't be interested, but we will have to inculcate the attitude of loving it. It's something that you learn as time goes on. You get used to as time goes on. So if the PAP takes power, then we will have to accept it that way, and we see what to do as far as football is concerned. We will have to put interest and put force to see that it is actually a success and not a failure as it has been for some years now.
Okay. Mbaraul, football, do you love football?
Actually, football, I want to believe that based on comparative analysis with what I've seen in other countries, I think that football is a good tool that we can use at this particular moment where we have numerous crises to bring unity in our country. It's not just an aspect of just playing, but try to see how we can convert this football, especially at the moment of this Elite 1, Elite 2, at least to bring unity in our country.
Football being a political factor, is that?
Yeah, I believe that all sectors in Cameroon, they are political.
There's politics everywhere.
There's politics everywhere, and that is why I believe that those, like the institution in place that govern the football in our country, is not just playing, that are giving rooms for the players to just say, I'm playing, I'm getting this, but it's an aspect also to see how you can use your sectors to bring unity, not the unity of clamoring to become the president of yourself.
This ceremony that will take place tomorrow, it has been for long. We have not seen such a ceremony. Can we say the ceremony to give the Ballon d'Or Cameroonais is a booster to local players?
Yeah, it's a booster actually, because at a certain point, honestly, I know friends are watching me. One of the sector that I started first before joining politics was the sector of football. But at a certain point, with the, you have to focus. You have to focus as an individual. So I look at the sector, because I have individuals around me that I take them to be like those that are professional, they have the talent, but at the end you start asking, where are they now? They are just loitering around. But I believe that with the coming in place of this institution, which I want to believe that, let the person that is in charge, let him remain there to see that he revamp the sectors. And
so Samuel Eto'o is doing a good job?
He's doing a good job. I think I cannot deny that aspect, and I believe that let him just continue with the effort, and it should also be as a point of contact for other people to see as well, because if you look critically, you see that he is a professional in his aspect. If tomorrow, like for example, there is a sector of the medical, we have the medical sector, let the person that is put in place, let him also copy the same thing. It's not just about coming into that sector to exploit money or to do whatever.
What are you trying to say? Are you want to tell us that, for example, if they appoint somebody minister of public health,
yeah,
that person has to be a doctor, a medical doctor? Is that?
I think so. Because truth, if you cannot give somebody, honestly, Mr. Tabi, you cannot take someone that has no mastery about, and you want to put him, like for example, tomorrow you want to see, they said they are giving you someone that has no skill or master in journalism to come that you should work with. So it's some sort of, it's I don't know, it's some sort of people should be put based on competence, not based on...
Gina, when he was talking about Samuel Eto'o, I saw you shaking your head, saying that, no, it's good, that Eto'o is doing a good job.
Yeah, he's actually doing a good job from my take. I have noticed that people are beginning to like put interest into football. So since he actually took over, people are beginning to, to have interest in it, to have the love for football again, since he took over. So I believe he's actually doing a good job.
The right man at the right place?
Yeah, and it is good they gave the position to a young man. That's what interests me the most. A young man, not a grandfather.
I might be a bit differ on that aspect, because I think that age actually is not a tool that can determine professionalism, because I think that even in issues like crisis, we can take the crisis in the Northwest. If the military can, the government can still decide to bring an aged person that has a knowledge about issues that has to do with war, not bringing him because maybe it's because they need a young person that will go on the field. So for me, age actually has nothing to do when it comes to some critical, because we still have somebody that can be of age.
All positions anyway are critical positions. When it comes to leadership is not easy.
It's not age, because you see,
leadership is not easy all the same.
That is what you just heard me, Mr. Tavi. What I just want to put is that this aspect, leadership is not about age. You can, a child of 3 years can still be a leader. Even biblically, we discover aspect of Jeremiah, he was chosen at a very teenage age.
But we know
age there should not be a tool for us to determine a leader. You get it? A child can still be a leader, a father can still be a leader. So age has nothing to do.
What now? I don't deny that fact.
What now that matter? It is your longevity in service that gives now maybe the output. It brings down the output. So that
is what we are actually talking about, Mr. Tabi. Because in the country where we are, we all know what is happening. We all know the positions that are given to grandfathers, which there are so many youths out there who are more competent than the grandfathers who are put in place. That is my problem. My problem is positions should be given, or leadership should be given to the youth now. It has been for long been grandfathers, and so on and so forth. And gradually as they are growing old, mentally they can't function again. They can't function steadily.
But they say experience is equally, experience is age now.
Experience is age, but they are young people who are more experienced than old people.
Young people more experienced than old people.
Because they have gone through all the things of life. Yes, they have gone through a lot in life. So they are more experienced than if you are today, you grow maybe in a house where there is tiles, you drink mineral water, you have your 3 square meals per day, you have anything you want. What is the experience you have in life, Mr. Tabi? What is the experience? So I believe that
so people who eat don't have experience, madam.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Yes.
I mean someone that has gone through life, someone that have gone through the test of time.
Yeah.
Let me put it that way.
Yeah. Difficult moments,
hard times, hardship. People of the lower class, they can better give you maybe a testimony of what life is all about than someone that has maybe grown into luxury and all the life.
Okay, so your problem is youth-ness, yeah?
Yeah, that's my problem.
Okay, Akong,
I wanted just to react to the, I heard my brother saying, we're talking of experiences. When my sister talks about youth, we can't therefore put them on a balance sheet, because concerning my experience in what concerns so far journalism, we can't say a young journalist from Advanced School of Mass Communication will do what either Mr. Tabi have been doing since,
yes,
or Akon seated here. He also thought of putting men in their right places. A doctor who have been serving for years cannot be just like a new doctor from
that is it.
From
Qs. So I think my sister is speaking with her heart from the party that we know history and experience has been showing us that older persons are those that gathers knowledge.
Yes, maybe she wants to add something.
Is that the reason why we will keeping the youth to what we call in French chômage, because they are maybe old men and women out there who can lead?
We are not on a debate of ping pong, but we know.
Yes, we know there's a debate.
Yes,
there's a debate between Akon and Jide, but we are here commenting issues in the papers. We just made mention of Samuel Etofis, that you said that he is the right man at the right place, and that things are changing as to what concerns the football sector. Is that?
That is it.
Okay. You also agree?
Yeah, I agree. And then now you were asking about my own. He talked about football.
No, we are coming to that. We are coming.
Okay.
He has selected football as what actually struck him, or what caught his attention as what concerns the papers that we actually portrayed. I will ask my collaborators to send us a jingle before we come back. Okay, Gine, you equally watch the newspapers, the papers. What caught your attention?
What actually caught my attention is the issue of the director of the hospital in the West, who actually came up with something like people should pay in a sum of 50,000 francs before they are being attended to.
Caution fee.
Caution fee. That is what caught my attention, and I was very disturbed. I was worried. That is why I started talking. I started off talking with the concerned issue of those who have gone through hard times, those who have gone through hardship. Because if he's someone that maybe has had experience in life, he will not be talking of something like that. And I would like to say, it seems like the government of this country is leading Cameroonians, is leading the country in some sort of ambush. Like to say, they're like testing us, testing Cameroonians to see their reaction, to see how far we can go. Because if actually that pronouncement by the director of the hospital, if the Cameroonians had actually stayed quiet about it, that is something that would have been implemented. It is because they did not accept that fact, and that is why the minister now came in. He comes in and he says, no, it is cancelled. Whereas I believe that the director of that hospital works with his superiors, and he cannot take such a decision without maybe consulting his superiors. That is the problem. So
and his name is Professor
Eno George. Yeah.
You are saying that you could not have
taken such a decision without consulting his superiors. So
when the minister is coming now, are you saying that the minister is playing a dirty game or what?
To an extent, because this government is a reactive government. It is not a proactive government. They just wait for situations to get to the alarming rate, and that's when they come and show to the people that maybe they love them, they can help them, they can listen to their cry. Whereas it is not the case.
So the caution fee issue is a mess anyway?
It's a mess. It's a total mess to me. It's a total mess. And if you have been following our national president, Mr. Jangdinis, on several occasions, he has outrightly said it, that this government should stop playing a dirty game. Because what they're doing is actually a dirty game. We know all their tricks. We know how far they can go. They have proven to us that our lives doesn't matter in any way. And that is why the director can come up with such an issue of a 50,000 francs caution fee before being attended to. I believe health, education, and water are basic facilities that in any country it is even supposed to be free. But it is not the case in our country.
In the United States, water is not free. I can guarantee you that. Even in the United States, water is not free. Yes, Akon, before we take Mbaraoul, what is your take on that?
I think we came to dig without injury. When my sister is saying no, I think the caution to be paid, there's a lot of abuse. You can't, an accident happens and then they bring a patient to the hospital. We know this is a television. Electricity bills must be paid. We know there are certain young doctors that have not yet been recruited. On those little cautions, I think it is
it means to help to pay those doctors?
To pay those doctors, because we have been going on the field and we know how things happen there. It's not because the press release was signed by the Director General of the hospital
the regional director
today, and people will think that it doesn't happen. No, we have been there and we know the caution must be paid, because at times a patient comes and say, I will pay after
nothing is being paid.
So seeing
because the hospital too needs to leave. People
that's why I was saying that maybe my sister haven't been there to see how those institutions function.
So paying caution fee is normal.
It's
a normal thing.
It's a normal thing. I'm not defending the
minister or the
director. No, we know how certain institution works and function, and at times those little means can also help in different aspects.
You wanted to react again?
Actually, I wanted to react to that point. To me, I don't think money is the problem in this country. Because these same people whom the director is levying a caution fee of 50,000 francs, these same people pay taxes. These same people have the right to be treated. They have the right to live. Okay, if you allow them and they die, then what will our country become? If you can go to a hospital and you are not treated because you don't have the means, you don't have the 50,000 francs at hand to pay a deposit, it means you won't be treated. Is that the country we call our own? Is that how it is supposed to be? That is the question we should be asking ourselves as Cameroonians. And we should have it in mind that the director, even if it was a sole decision of his to maybe come up with something like that, it is just a replica of the country where we find ourselves. You go to hospitals, we all know majority of the people do pay their bills. Majority pay their bills. If you go to hospitals,
Ako is disagreeing with you completely.
Not at all.
Majority pay the bills, because if you go to hospitals, you will not find the majority in the hospital that they are unable to pay their bill. You might find 1, 2, 3, or 5 cases. Is the government unable to set these people free? As long as they stay there, the bill is accumulating. Is that a solution?
So what is the solution?
The solution is, as I earlier said, health, education, and water
should be free.
Should be something that you don't need to pay high, or should be free to an extent.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, Mba, we are talking the situation in Bafoussam with the caution fee issue. What is your take on that?
Actually, Mr. Tabi, is sad because I believe, like what my sister here was talking, that at least if there is something that a state should ensure to its citizens, should be at least medical attention. At least if we pay tax, then what can the government offer to us? Water is not free. Education is not free.
No, education is free at the level of primary. At the level of primary, education is free.
Even the medical stuff is a problem. Mr. Tabi, honestly, I'm shocked because shocked at the reaction of Cameroonians. Because I quite remember on this same platform, there were times that we went out telling Cameroonians that it is time for you to be cautious, for Cameroonians to be conscious enough to know that there is a mafia that has gone in this country, and it is time for us to put the government in order. But Cameroonians thought we were like playing.
No, we are talking what is happening at the regional hospital.
The consequences of what I am saying, it is exactly because of what we were denouncing. We talk about accountability of COVID gate. The reason why we talk about the accountability is because when the government cannot give us accountability, the next thing is that government will start shifting the burden to the citizen. And that is why today we are seeing the consequences, because now, do you think, how could the government or the Ministry of Public Health retrieve that money? It is by imposing. These are the consequences. These are the reason why some of our militants are in jail, because they were asking for the accountability of the COVID gate.
We are not talking COVID here. We are talking
Mr. Tabi,
we are talking the regional hospital
Mr.
in
Tabi,
Bafoussam.
That is part of what they call direct tax. There are other indirect tax that have been going on. We don't know. Bafoussam was fortunate because maybe individuals were conscious enough to send the information out. And the issue is that when you look at the time frame plays a vital role. Just about few minutes, exactly at the moment where Professor Eno gave that communicate, just about, not up to an hour, we saw the reaction of the Ministry of Public Health. It means that order could not have, or such a high-ranking official at the level of the regional level could not have taken that decision without contacting the hierarchy. It's just some sort of mafia. Mr. Tabi, the issue is that we are in a country that people just sit, take decision without even thinking, or send even in the laboratory to see the consequences of it. I know issues like that. Health should be something that I think, first of all, that minister or that director need to be sued, because it tramples on the rights of even the poor. Let's forget about the rich. Do you know the rate you need to visit some of these hospitals? It means, for example, if I'm going just for typhoid, I'm going just for malaria, it means I'm just to consult, I have to deposit 50,000 francs, which the cure for malaria is not even up to the 50,000. What are we saying, Mr. Tabi?
We are talking caution fee.
The caution fee is what you are going. Okay, now, even you have headache, you need to get paracetamol. It means the law should be applicable to you. No patient should be admitted into the hospital, because there are times
Engineer and even Akon and Mbaraoul, but do you think the director of this hospital can just take a decision like that? It means certain cases have been occurring in that hospital where people
Mr.
have been
Tebi.
coming and their bills have not been paid.
If cases like that have been happening, it is because if it has actually been going on like that, it is because it is because maybe the government has made it in such a way that people are poor because the government is the cause of our poverty.
The government will not pay all the bills now.
We are not asking
to pay all the bills,
Mr. Tabi, we are not asking government to pay all the bills. There are people who are able and they pay their bills, and there are people who even promise and they do so.
Some promise and they don't do.
But the few who don't, pay their bills, are you going to keep them there forever? That is the question. That is because they are unable to raise such an amount of money. The director coming up with something like that, it means it is something that maybe he has sat with his superiors and they have agreed. It was just, as I said earlier, it was just to see Cameroonians how far. And because the issue actually had to escalate, and that is why the minister now comes in very, very fast. You see, this government wants to play smart on Cameroonians.
But the minister has actually refuted that. Okay.
I'm very surprised of hearing some of the reactions here. I think we should be honest inside of us, and maybe Cameroonians watching us. Is it the first time, I know it's Mr. Tabi asking questions here today, is it the first time such an action is being said? And we know in some hospitals there have been even denying some patients to work out, not because the press release was being signed in Bafoussam that today press has therefore maybe mediatized the information, and people think
it's not the first time.
It's not the first time.
We have seen cases where some patients equally have been locked up. They have been denied.
Somebody will go and look for
to
trouble.
Get out from the hospital.
Yeah, like what happened even in Douala. So, Mr. Tabi, you see the government that we have at times. Some of us, when we stay quiet, it's not as if we don't know. Because, to be honest with you, we have I don't know if you know about the Universal Health Recovering Plan that was put. It is a program that was, donors came from the European Parliament, the World Health Organization, the Japan, they came and donated money for Cameroonians to have free medical attention. But do you know, we have not heard about it, and the government is, yes, Mr. Tabi.
Do you know that government cannot do everything alone?
Okay.
We cannot say government should pay our bills.
No, it's true. It's true.
Huh?
Yeah, it's true.
Because if government is paying your bill, is paying my bill, government will not survive.
No, it's true, Mr. Tabi. But yes, the issue now is that for example, I was waiting for the day that the Ministry of Public Health will come up to talk about the Universal Recovering Health Plan, or the system that was put in place, that donor came in and they pump money in the health sector. But instead of waiting to receive, maybe that because I shouldn't be in the health to give declaration, I wait for the government to give, so that at least we can at least go out to upload the donors. But instead of expecting that from the government is instead coming out to give 50,000 francs.
Okay, but we can say we can say the decision of the minister is timely. It was timely.
Timely because to calm down, we know with the Anglophone crisis, such a decision could maybe bring out other attentions of crisis. That's why maybe the Minister of Public Health came with such a decision and said the director was not he had no capability of signing such a release. So maybe a calm down of populations, because we know how Cameroon functions, and at times when things are hotting up, there is water that can therefore calm down or cool down certain spirits, because we know we're just when listening to interventions, we really base on politics with what is really happening. I'm not the one to say it here, because we know with no party, as I'm seated, intervening as a journalist. Time of Cameroon is really on attention, and we know any of our actions can put this country down.
But we are saying that President Paul Biya, the president of the Republic, actually is out for health. That is, everybody should actually have that access to health, good health, because no meaningful development can come without strong men and strong women. So normally it was a good decision on the part of the minister to say, no, Mr. Director, you don't have the powers to take such a decision. It was nice on the part of the minister.
It was a good try on his part. I will say try, because actually, as we all know, if we were in a serious country, if actually they claim that they are not aware of the decision taken by the director of the hospital, if we're in a serious country, then the director should be sanctioned.
And maybe they will dismiss him in the days ahead. We are waiting.
We are in Cameroon and we understand the system perfectly well.
Don't be surprised,
don't be surprised that he'll be promoted.
He will be promoted.
Yeah, that is the funniest thing in our country. He would rather be promoted
than at least, you know, that's how
that is how our country functions, and that is why our national president of the park on several occasions has called on Mr. Biya to step down. And he's saying that no, the people put him there. 40 years of failure. Mr. Tabi.
He was elected by the people anyway. You see, we should wait for 2025 for another election. You cannot just step down like that. We have elections that are coming up in 2025. If the PAP
he was conscious
is interested, the PAP should go in for elections. If the PAP is elected by the people, then it's good. It's good for the PAP, because we have to make it clear, madam, that the president of the republic was elected by the people. 71.7% or 9%.
That is why our president has on several occasions told Mr. Biya to organize a fair and a transparent dialogue.
There was dialogue in 2000 and
with intimidation, Mr. Tabi, with
there was dialogue in 2019.
The government should not intimidate the people
there was dialogue.
And see how
we saw people from the diaspora
speak their minds.
People from the diaspora were there.
They were intimidated.
No, they were there. Diasporans were there. Madam, diasporans were there in the major national dialogue. September, October 2019, we saw the diasporans were there. We saw people from even the civil society. We saw people actually spoke out their minds during the dialogue, the major national dialogue. I would like us to conclude on this issue of the Bafoussam Regional Hospital before we move on to our next topic. Akon, what is the advice that you can give the population after the release of the minister?
Just to calm down, and then a message to stakeholders for them to at least ameliorate life conditions of Cameroonians, because the way we live is just like where I can say this here like animals, because even talking of bribes, because it's not just in hospitals that we see such cases, but what Cameroonians must retain is that our country is being led by stakeholders, and we know how they manipulate such actions to poor Cameroonians that are not able of...
Can we say in hospital we have corruption in the medical domain, in the health domain?
There's no sector without corruption. How can you say it, Mr. Tabi?
So corruption is everywhere.
Corruption is everywhere.
And that is what
and at times, you know yourself that when you have money and me, a poor man, seated here, you'll be served before me. I'm not the one to say it, and you know it. I'm not the one. You know
okay, Mba, what is your last word on this?
No, actually, my last word is I love the Cameroonians are beginning to be conscious, and I want to believe that everyone has a telephone. We don't need to go to the street. Please, we have to denounce this aspect. We have a lot of things that are going on in our country. Let us try. We have our Android phone. We'll just denounce, because it is just thanks to the reaction of the Cameroonians. That is why we saw the minister reacting. So why not also denounce other sectors? Let us denounce the crisis. Let us denounce the people that are dying on daily basis.
So things are changing positively.
So that things should change.
Things are changing positively.
Yes,
we can say so.
Yes, and it should also serve as a lesson to Cameroonian citizens, because they should know that the government we have is a government that doesn't bother. Look at the
you cannot say the government does not bother.
It doesn't bother
when the minister comes out to react.
Such type of decision is even
when the minister comes out to react. You cannot say. You cannot say the government does not bother.
Issues over that are even supposed to be debated in the parliament. That is the people's house.
Yes.
So it should even be deliberated before the final decision comes. So when an individual just get up from his house, take a pen, write a communique, and say.
That is why the minister actually said no, Mr. Director.
So I think it should serve as a lesson for Cameroonians to know that if they can react. And today, individuals will be going to the hospital without a deposit of 50,000. That is how they can also get advantage in other sectors.
Okay. A last word, Madam, before we say bye-bye to Akon, because Lambert is coming. Tell us on this issue.
In line with what he just said, I would like to advise Cameroonians that they should be able to stand up for their rights. They should be able to express themselves. Because if actually they had stayed quiet with what was maybe declared, it would have been so. And they would have been suffering silently. Yes. So I would like to call on Cameroonians to be able to stand up and defend themselves. Say what they want.
They should express themselves.
They should express themselves, yes.
Okay. Akon, we say thank you for coming, because you will give your seat to Lambert. So once again, we say thank you, Akon, Belinda. And certainly hope to see you very soon again in the papers.
Actually, very happy of me taking part to build our nation, Cameroon. So hoping for another invitation by Mr. Tabi Clarkson and good continuation of the program.
We say thank you. We shall be back after the jingle. We welcome Lambert, Kevin. Lambert, we say good afternoon and welcome to the papers.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tabi, for inviting me. And I must start by apologizing. You know what happened. The traffic in this town is something else. And sometimes you want to get the government delegate or the mayor doing his job by paving a way out for vehicles to move slowly or to move easily. But at the end of the day, you want to think that some people will always come in to complain. But to a certain point, considering what happened to me today, sometimes the mayor...
Government is doing, those government delegates are doing wonderful job.
I think to a certain extent they are always right, but they shouldn't exaggerate what they are doing.
With the mayors and so on.
Yes, they should do it with moderation, not exaggerating, because sometimes they go bizarre.
Okay. You actually saw what were in the papers. What caught your attention?
Actually, what caught my attention was in the Guardian post where Dr. Fomiyom has to recount the role of democracy in Cameroon. So I want to believe that...
Can we have the paper on democracy?
Dr. Fomiyom, yeah.
The paper on democracy, Dr. Fomiyom talking about democracy.
The Guardian post, yeah.
The Guardian post?
I think that, you see, the rule of law, democracy, those are the tools that can define how Cameroonians live. If there is no democracy in our country, it is rest assured that everything goes the way it goes. And I believe that when we talk about democracy, we don't just criticize the democracy. We don't just start from nowhere. We just start from somewhere, start criticizing it. I believe that there are tools that you can use to scrutinize to know if actually there is democracy or how is it impacting ordinary citizens or not. First of all, we can use tools of the principle of power, principles of accountability, principle of justice. We know, which I don't want to believe that we should spend more time talking about justice in Cameroon. But let us look at the principle of accountability in determining if actually democracy is helping Cameroonians or they are not helping Cameroonians. I believe that democracy means the people to the power. And basically, when the people have entrust confidence to you, the principle of accountability is supposed to be applicable because you have to be accountable for that power that has been entrusted to you. For example, we look at the Electoral Code section 142, talks about the vacancy of the president. For so far, Mr. Tabi, it gives rights for us to hold the president of our country responsible. This is, I think, is getting to 300 days. I mean, 250 days where we have not seen our president.
Must you see him? He is working.
You must not see him. You must not see him. Yeah, you are. Yes, Mr. Tabi. Yes. Power is about proximity with your people. The people.
It is not written somewhere that I have to see the president.
No, Mr. Tabi.
He is working. He is busy. He has many things to do.
Tabi, Section 142 talks about permanent inavailability. I'm not the author of that section of the Electoral Code, and therefore it gives right for the president to be held accountable because the people have entrust confidence to him. So if we are not able to see the president, for example, I know you will be asking me that must I see the president? We have a lot of pertinent issues that are tearing our country apart. Look at the crisis in Northwest. Look at the issue that we talk about, the regional hospital, the one in the West region. Look at AFCON. Look at the COVID gate. Okay, now let me use the reference of the major national dialogue. We know we have lost individuals as a result of the crisis. Both our military died as a result of this crisis. The civilians are dying on daily basis. So far, we have had about, I think, close to 4,000 citizens that have died. But we have not heard the president.
No, the president has come on several occasions.
Mr. Tabi. Yes, all right.
On several occasions, we have seen the president coming out to say one or two things.
Yes, he has come out.
You cannot say that he has not come out.
You ask, yes.
You cannot say so.
Yes, he has not come out. Let me just d'accord with you for the sake of...
No, it's not for the sake. No. We have seen the president coming out on several occasions.
Tabi, you went and you thought it wise that you should organize a major national dialogue. Now you just entrust your power to the prime minister. At the moment that the people even needed you, that is what I'm talking about. Democracy, Mr. Tabi.
That is not democracy.
Democracy is with the people. Power and the people.
No, that is not democracy.
So even to come out,
if you can delegate your power to somebody,
Mr. Tabi,
if you can ask somebody,
you cannot delegate.
If you can ask somebody to represent
Mr. Tabi,
there is nothing
you cannot start delegating your power from the January.
So in the CRM, there is no delegation of powers in the CRM.
There is, but we see that always. I'm talking about
in the CRM. There is no delegation of powers.
Mr.
I think he has collaborators.
Mr. Tabi,
the president of the republic has collaborators.
We are talking about permanent unavailability as certain by the constitution. What
is democracy? No, what is democracy?
Democracy
is the government of the people, for the people.
Okay, the government for the people. Now the people are dying. Where is the head of state?
The president has come out on several occasions.
Come out where, Mr. Tabi?
He has sent delegations to the southwest.
Mr. Tabi, I am talking about proximity with the...
Mr. Mba.
Okay, that is why I said it.
Mr. Mba, if the president of the republic sends somebody or send the prime minister to the southwest or northwest, it means that the president is there. The president must not be there himself. Sending his representatives, sending his collaborators is something that we have to appreciate. On several occasions, we have even the former prime minister Philemon Yang was there.
Mr. Tabi,
Joseph Dongute was there. actual Prime Minister. We have seen delegations going to the northwest, going to the southwest to resolve the problem. You cannot say the president absent. No, you cannot say that.
Mr. Tabi.
Wait, we are coming to you.
Mr. Tabi,
we are coming to you.
Mr. Tabi, please. We are talking about the constitution of the president. It's I'm not the author of it.
We are coming to you. We are talking democracy.
From 1st of
we
January.
Are talking democracy.
Right,
promoting democracy.
From the 1st of January to December, you are only delegating power.
We are coming.
That is why I said it is dependent on availability of the president. So it is my right as someone that I entrust him. He is not doing his job. For me to say that he's sleeping, he's sleeping. So let him give chance.
No,
you cannot delegate power all the time.
Let's take Lambert. Lambert, what is your take on that? We are talking democracy.
I must confess that sometimes I really doubt democracy. I want to talk here like a journalist and at the same time a Cameroonian. I don't want to talk like a foreigner. I don't want to ask you any question because I'm the one asking us questions. What is killing us is this thing we always call diplomacy. Because sometimes when some of us talk, they say we are using raw language. What is raw language? What is raw language when you cannot get to Bamenda, stand and face your people, face to face, and tell them that, please, this is what I thought. This is what I was thinking. Now it is like this. What is the way forward? Because I am doubting the democracy of Cameroon, the democratic part of it in Cameroon for 80%. Reason being that, you know, Cameroon has a role now as far as Equatorial Guinea is concerned, where people are being sent back to Cameroon. And there have been so many books being signed, so many diplomatic books being signed. If the diplomacy was real, could that have been happening now? No. Now, people are in the bush. In Kwakwa, the president hasn't appeared once. To say, Mr. Tabi, please allow me to land. I'm not talking about you. I'm not.
Are you saying that the president has to go to Kwakwa?
He is the president of the people.
Yeah, he is the president of the people.
And by the people.
He has representatives everywhere.
Those representatives, they have not been able to give him the real good on the ground.
Are you saying that he has to go to Kwakwa?
Let him go to Kwakwa. Let him go to Kwakwa.
That is the problem.
Take the one shot.
He has representatives everywhere.
And then I can have what to say. Because the Prime Minister was in Bamenda and you saw what happened to the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister was bundled into his car. And things happened the way they happened.
When we talk democracy, we are talking the institutions.
People are angry. Do you know that Cameroonians are angry?
Lambert.
What type of institution are you talking about?
Lambert, when we talk democracy.
Yes. To the people.
We are talking
government to the people.
We are talking the return of multi-party politics, for example.
No, that is your own definition.
Wait. We are talking.
He has.
We are talking multi-party politics.
Yes.
Where, for example, before he came in office, it was just one political party. We all agree. Today things have changed. Mr. Lambert.
When you get what we call G20, what is the meaning of G20?
Now we have more than 250 political parties.
What is
the same political party?
That is just to present a diplomatic image to the world that we are collaborating. Meanwhile, the other political parties, apart from the CBM, is very angry. They are very, very angry. You get the CRM person talking. Let us give them a chance to try what they can try.
No, they don't give the chance now. They have to. They don't give chance to people.
When people move with transparent boxes at the end of the day, they don't change it overnight. What does that mean?
Mr. Lambert.
I have covered presidential election once in Kumbu. And it was very scary for me to go out because we were called and say, this is what to report.
Lambert.
I am a journalist. What you instruct me on what to do as a reporter.
Lambert.
We have been hurt by something that you cannot tell.
Lambert.
Yes, Mr.
Lambert. In Cameroon, if you want to be the president of this country, you have to win elections.
I am not refusing.
I am not refusing. You have to win elections. Mr. Tabi, you have to win elections.
Been ever given an opportunity in this country?
Have
elections been ever fair in this country?
Yes. Basically, when you
that is what you think, Mr. Tabi. That is what you think. When we know the Malema that goes on.
The people manning the election themselves, they are from a
particular party.
They are being appointed.
Okay.
How can you?
Okay. Let me ask you a question, Lambert.
Your white spot of soup.
Lambert, do you expect people to come from space to organize elections in this country?
I don't. But
do you want us to take
not be appointed?
Do you want us to take foreigners to come and organize elections in this country?
They should not be appointed by a particular being that they are paying allegiance to.
I think Cameroonians themselves have to organize their elections, and that is what we have been doing for the past
I
years.
love that topic, that point that you said, Cameroonians.
We have been doing that for the past years.
Yes.
We are talking.
And where is it landing us?
We are talking democracy.
Can
Can we not say that the fact that there is a return of multi-party politics?
No, forget about
that is a side of democracy.
Obviously, the aspect of
the fact that the PAPs existed,
yes,
the CRMs existed, the UPCs existed,
that is
the MDRs existed. Is that not
Mr. Tabi,
democracy?
First of all, I applaud that aspect because at times it's not just about criticizing, but now what matters is the content. In every aspect in life, it is not about the container. Put an image in front, but when you get into the content, it is different. Mr. Tabi, do you know that if we talk about democracy, what governed part of that democracy that you are talking about, that election? We have what they call the electoral code. And now the electoral code has to, that is, it is not only at the election, should not only be at the moment of the day of the election. Say that is why I brought up section 142, where it gives you the vacancy of the president. If the permanent inavailability, it is the right to even organize an election. It is part of democracy. But when we see the permanent unavailability of the president, and now the interim president cannot go take his function, the Constitutional Council cannot bring in order that accountability to tell the president that things are going apart, are tearing apart, but your president is not in any direction. If you say democracy is democracy to the people, and Mr. Tabi, people are dying on daily basis. Our ministry, you are not there.
I call
people are dying because of
it is paperwork.
Wait, Gina, it's true that you are still to talk on this.
Yeah.
But it's important to make mention that on several occasions, the President of the Republic
Tabi, I would like you
come
to
out
say,
to address this issue.
I would like you to say that on several occasions, because we haven't seen him physically.
He has never stepped foot in
You cannot say he has never been to Bamenda. He has been to Bamenda. He has been to Boya.
What is holding this country now as far as this? Let me tell you now and then. What is holding this country now as far as the Northwest is concerned in the context of this crisis is bush division. Have you ever seen the president even on his private jet trying to land in the Tobin Municipal Stadium? People are angry.
No, people are angry. We know that people are angry, and they're angry everywhere. Even in Yaoundé, people are angry. They're not only angry in Bamenda.
Don't sit on Yaoundé. Don't sit in Yaoundé and you who is around Biame. You cannot feel like somebody.
Yes, Mr. Tabi. Yes, representative.
Just to conclude,
we are moving.
He should know that they have failed him.
Okay, Lambert.
Yes.
It's true that you came late, but there's another issue in the papers that actually caught our attention too.
Yeah, Mr. Tabi.
We don't know. I'm the one moderating.
Okay, sir.
I'm the one moderating. There's an issue that also caught our attention, that of land grabbing in Fako. The Professor Dorothy Joma, actually came out to say some villagers were actually grabbing land. And I want to believe that land grabbing is not only an issue in Fako, it's equally an issue maybe in Menchum, in Bui. It's everywhere, even here in the center. So what do you have to say about land grabbing?
You know, people who have what I can call, who are up there, have decided to be suppressing those who are what I can call under. Reason being that, who are those who are grabbing those lands? The administrators in Boya. They are not clear. I don't want to give an example, because when you want to go into the root and see who has land, how did the person acquire the land? You go to an office, you are going in to buy, let's say 10 meters square of land. The same paper that is coming from that particular office is called fake. And the same paper that is coming from that particular office, two papers now, is called original. Who is fake and who's original? From the same office. Let me tell you, I don't want to tell you my issues of land here in Yaoundé, because it will look like I want to talk about myself. We're talking about the Southwest, where a politician came up and say land grabbing, blah, 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 blah. They themselves, they are the ones manipulating those indigenous, because they know that they need money, they need finances to survive. Considering what we are going through now, they are bound to sell what they sell anyhow they sell it, and to survive, even with double sales. So
the people concerned, the DOs, the SDOs, the governor themselves, they should sit and tell the people that the land that we have collected forcefully, we are sorry, because they know where it is found. I don't want to say other things.
Gina, blessed, have you also witnessed land grabbing?
In the same line with what he's saying, it is true that a layman will not go in to take what does not belong to him because he knows he won't be able to have the means to fight. So as he earlier said, the land grabbing is done by our ministers. In fact, our rulers, those who have been given the power to lead us, because they know that those the less privileged, they need maybe
they are hungry.
Yes, they need something to eat. If you maybe just close their mouth with a 10,000 francs and
you don't just wake up and you are selling a land,
and everything is
you sell it for a purpose.
So they are at the forefront of that.
But land grabbing issue.
Actually, Mr. Tabi, land grabbing issue in Boya is just, I can say, part of those others aspects that have been happening in Cameroon. I had to try to come out with statistics. I discovered that this issue of land grabbing, that is, I came with my conclusion that it mostly happened with officials of a particular political party. Honestly, it's either you get an issue that this land was taken from this person and given to this person, and when you ask now that who took that land and handed, it's either you start getting that it is either a phone or a chief, and now when you start looking to get the con or to know the author or the where that chief, you discover it's either issues of the CPDM.
No, we are talking land,
Mr. Tabi.
Allow politics alone.
It is not
politics. We are talking land grabbing.
The issue is that, Mr. Tabi.
Land grabbing.
Mr. Tabi, this if honestly, this issue of land dispute that has been happening all over in Cameroon, and the people have that they believe that they have some certain power, that they are in total in collaboration with the divisional officer who are part of the system or part of the political party, where they just believe that.
But we saw that the person who was complaining there is a militant of the CPTM party.
He is complaining because they are already inside the same pot of soup.
That is why I'm saying that Mr. Tabi,
Professor Dorothy Njoma is from the CPTM.
Mr. Tabi, that
so
is
we cannot accuse the CPTM.
Mr. Tabi, the issue, the concept there is that he believes, and when you start asking, it might be that he took it in an illegal way, and that is why the same person decided to play the same rule. Because if you have all the land title, all those things, I don't think that it should be a problem for you.
So we cannot accuse the CPTM because Dorothy Njoma, the prof, is a renowned CPTM.
I said it is part of other issues that have been happening in that. And all this lies with the issue of the administration that is put in place, because I believe that the person in charge, for you to get the land, or you need to get the land title, or at the level of divisional officer or the subdivisional officer. So, but when you start seeing things happening like this, it means that the state where we are operating is ungovernable, that people just think that they can take a land, toast the land,
delegation of land tenure,
toast a land,
acquire a land certificate, you are being given a land title, and at the same time they call it fake. Who is signing what?
That is what I'm saying.
What is fake and what is original?
So to conclude, Mr. Tabi, I believe that when you look at all, it's like you to get up one day in Cameroon and say and sit and say maybe everything is fine is a problem, because it's either you are getting a problem of this or you are getting a problem of this, which means that it all lies at the level of hate. So it is time for us to define one body or one political party, like the CRM of
we are not talking. We are not talking. We are not talking.
Do you know, Mr. Tabi? Do you know why? Do you know why I'm making my conclusion? I'm making my conclusion because I take it based on.
Please.
It's not politics.
You made mention of Tobin a while ago.
Yes.
I've been to Tobin when Kumbo Strikers was still a Kumbo Strikers. On several occasions, Kumbo Strikers played the finals of or the semi-finals of the Cup of Cameroon. Where is Kumbo Strikers today? Are you from Kumbo?
Yes.
Yes. Where is Kumbo today?
Kumbo striker, Kumbo today, in terms of football,
in terms of
politics,
in terms of football,
in terms of everything, Kumbo is becoming unbecoming because people have come to impose. We are not ourselves. That's why I'm here only. If it's not because of what you know, I could have not been here in Yaoundé because I am very, very uncomfortable. You buy everything. In Kumbu, everything seems to be free. Not seems, but it's free. But now look at the political instability that we're going through. It is exposed, in fact, it is pushing everybody out to go survive elsewhere, who's not helping.
I am talking Kumbu Strikers, the football team.
You're talking about Kumbu. We are on the move. You know, due to certain, you have to understand that politics equally is playing a part. And people think that they can run a particular team of a particular division like their personal property. And that's why Kumbu Strikers seem not to be visible. But we pray that in the days ahead, it should be very visible because the fund now is in charge of everything. And I believe that something somewhere is going to happen. That's why I have never gotten to do a proper research on that, because when it comes to political hate, I run away.
Okay, it's true that I made mention of Tobin because there is a big ceremony tomorrow at the Yaoundé Conference Center. When it
and
comes
Tobin is the capital
to football.
Tobin, you may want to understand, is the headquarter of Bui Division, where the SDO reside. Tobin equally is the headquarter of everything in Bui. And if you get to Tobin now, it's very scary because immediately after the SDO's residence, it's like a thick bush. Everybody, I don't want to say everybody, although some are still trying to survive, but people are not happy. The people of Tobin and Kumbu in particular are very angry. And they're very angry. They expect somebody to come down and talk to them. We are Cameroonians. If at all, we are still Cameroonians.
We are.
Yes.
We are a people. We are a nation. We are a republic. We are brothers and sisters of the same republic. I was making mention of Tobin because you made mention of Tobin. I've been there on several occasions there when Kumbu Strikers was still in Elite 1. And of course, tomorrow there is a big ceremony in Yaoundé. We are talking football. We are talking Samuel Eto'o, who is coming back with the Ballon d'Or Cameroonais. It's a good initiative.
Yes. Thank you that you are talking about. I was afraid that I will come out, end the program without talking about Samuel Eto'o. Let me tell you that I started loving football. Remember, my wife used to play at the Bilene de Kumbu. She was 5 and she was doing the best. That is what pushed me to get through easily. And let me tell you that Samuel Eto'o has made me to love football to an extent that I wouldn't define. One, he's a youth and he's ready to use even his resources in satisfying Cameroonians. That's what we expect from other people. When you are old enough, give way to young people to manage their things.
Yes.
Because what Samuel Eto'o is doing there, I even wonder whether somebody, there is nobody in Cameroon, I don't want to say there will be nobody in Cameroon to do what Samuel Eto'o has been able to do for the short period of time. He is able to attend to everybody that comes there. He has changed completely the football system of Cameroon.
But
the Feka food.
Let us see the result. It's not just change.
Let us see what
I
am not concluding. We have started well.
We are hoping.
We hope and we believe that is going to happen because we know the kind of person we are dealing with. Samuel Eto'o, remember, he's a football technician. Let me put it that way. Samuel Eto'o is a football technician. I don't think
he's a football player or a football technician.
A football technician, because he has been playing and he knows what football is. He knows from A to Z. He knows who can do what, where and how. Although sometimes back he was being influenced by politicians who wanted to manipulate him, but he has stand his grounds that, my friend, we are talking about football in Cameroon. That's what he's doing, and that is why he is handling his football, his Feka food, the way he can handle. If some other people can emulate what he's doing, we are not doing bad.
That you remove somebody even when
no, talking about removing somebody, because even I think that even if you are CRM, you are still removing people.
We don't remove my brother.
No,
even they are removing people.
Yes, I think so, because I don't want to call names because you know what is happening. If you were too smart, the way you are trying to talk about Samuel Eto'o.
No, I'm not.
Let me say, we are talking about Eto'o. Eto'o is not doing anything bad as of now. I have not said that he has done miracles, but he is not doing something bad as of now, because I have not seen anything bad he has done.
True.
And remember, he has started the project in Bamenda. Since I learned about Feka food for the past years, I have never seen anything. He has been tossed in and out, but he's trying to calm down the fire. Can we appreciate for one?
No, it's good.
Cameroonians should
when something is good, it's good.
When it is good, it is good, and Eto'o is good.
Yeah.
Eto'o is good. I'd let him go ahead and do what he's doing, because I've tried by all possible means to meet him one-on-one and ask him what is the magic, so that we should present it to those people who are up there
to give way so that another Eto can come in maybe and occupy the space of the minister.
Just to answer the magic.
So that when the director of a hospital will sign a communique, he should not save.
He was asking
after the mass.
Mr. Tabi.
He was asking about the magic. I think that the magic.
No, wait.
Level of the head.
Wait. Madam Gina Blessed, tell us. Can we say that you just followed what Lambert said? Eto, he's singing the song of Eto. I want to believe that it's even one of the communication officers of of Samuel Eto.
No.
He doesn't know you physically.
I just love it the way he's doing it. And I am surprised for 36 years. Remember, I'm 36. For 36 years, I have never seen somebody at the head of any institution that is impressing me like Eto. So it's getting me surprised that so.
Are you also surprised with the performance of Samuel Eto?
There must be.
Actually, I'm surprised.
As what concerns management?
Yes, actually, I'm surprised. But there is one thing we pray, and that we all know, c'est le Cameroon, le Biamoun. I will call it that way. People should not change him. He should not change from who he is, from what he's doing. He should actually go ahead with the plan he came in with. That is all I can say.
That's all you can say.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, Mr. Tabi, I believe that what he's doing is good, is impressive, but I don't want to judge from what I can say maybe is a show, because everyone wants to show up, but the problem is the result. Like they'll tell you in football, it's not about the answer to the question of who played well or who played. The answer is how the result that you get, if it is positive or not. So I think that with all the aspect that he's doing, is maybe in the aspect of maybe the football, because that's the sector that he knows how to manage it. But if tomorrow maybe the results are not positive, it means, what should I say? You build institution that we cannot give good results. So the truth is,
it's just like in a football match. What matters are goals.
Goals.
Yeah.
So that's why yes.
Not the quality.
Not the quality.
Game,
because
he's doing good.
Yes,
okay.
revamping.
As of now,
yes,
doing
let
good.
the schools
And we
come
pray
in.
that he is not being
because
corrupted at the end.
tomorrow,
Because that is our country.
Yeah,
That is the Cameroon we are in.
because for me to see somebody that will come and not make noise or show beast, but you see results are positive, then it means that I prefer on that.
Okay,
and
Roland.
now my brother was talking about the magic of what.
We are coming to that magic. Roland, can we have our main topic on the screen? It's true that we started discussing already on the Bafoussam Regional Hospital. I would like, because Lambert, you met us in the course of this program. You followed that information. Tell us, can we say that it was a good decision on the part of the minister to have said that the regional director should not have taken that decision of caution fee?
I think this is one of the worst things so far. A minister of the health sector is going through. It is a pity that you can say, or you can write a communique telling people to give caution fee, what we call caution fee, before they are being taken or admitted in a hospital. Well, if you have an accident and you are being rushed to the hospital, you did not program for anything. You don't program for any sickness. I know that in every family, when we are doing a budget, we must put health. But it's not a must that budget should be exhausted. A minister, a director sits, write a communique, not even a little, what I can say, a little, to somebody, a little 5,000 or 10,000. Talking about 50,000 francs to be admitted in hospital. Is the hospital going to take you to heaven? It is a pity. You are not supposed to pay any franc to be admitted in the hospital. Remember, we call it a government hospital. And sometimes people sit and they are saying that it is free, it is blah, blah, blah. Then are we saying that health is free? You buy health. Remember, that's the caution fee. And you will still pay hospital bills. What happens? It is, I don't want to say nonsense, but that was not a good attempt. If the minister can, and remember, when people are being appointed in certain, remember, I think he was appointed. He was not elected, or he was not selected. He was appointed. People are being appointed. You want to see a director of a hospital be appointed on Sunday? He is going to church to offer a mass, a thanksgiving. For what?
He should not go.
Go and give thanks, giving mass that he has been appointed the director of a hospital that is going to take care of patients. Remember the type of patients you were taking care of: 8 patients, sickle cell, cancer, and all sorts. You need to pray over it in your house and say, God,
lead me through, and then God will lead you through. At the end of the day, you want to sit and write a communique, Mr. Director, you did it wrong, and let it not happen again elsewhere. Because Cameroonians always like those type of things to come in, and then they will take pretext and do other things. To me, it was not good, and it would never be good. And there should never be a hospital that is being instructed that you must have a caution fee.
A caution fee.
What is the caution about? It is polite that they use their knowledge of health to either give what I can say in quote an exploitative amount of money claiming to be your bill. Because I've once had some experience where people tell me that if you are sick and you see some types of people coming to look you or to check on you in the hospital when you are sick with a packers outside, your cupboard is full of very expensive type of food stuff, your bill will be different from the somebody, I can say, somebody who is not of your class, which is wrong. And that's what the minister did. By signing the 50,000 francs, I mean that if we can have 10...
No, the minister did not sign the 50,000.
That's what the director did, sorry.
Yeah.
I am calling the minister because the minister did not follow up. If he did a very good follow-up, that communique could have not come out. How many times do the minister go to Bafusam, to that regional hospital, to have meetings with his director? How many times? Questions need to be answered. If you can take your pen as somebody in charge of health and write that people should pay 50,000 francs, I doubt whether he is really a doctor. Because there are certain people that they just call themselves doctor. You are a nurse.
He's a professor anyway.
A professor of what? Let us know whether he is a professor of politics, a professor in charge of roots, or a professor of something else, not a professor in charge of health.
In the medical domain.
Yes. Because what we are saying is here, everybody is sick.
Yeah, everybody
is sick. And if you have that audacity, simply because you are a director of a regional hospital, you write the communique, 50,000 francs, I will not pay. I'd rather cause commotion and die rather than paying that 50,000 francs. I have not said the people of Babusam should riot, because we have seen what rioting can do.
Anyway.
And that's why I'm telling him that I know that he's very busy, but at least once a week, get to your directors, know what is happening in the hospital. Even keep spies. What is the use of those cameras in the hospital? Who is monitoring those cameras? I think the monitoring machine should be here in Yaoundé, in the minister's office, and somebody is in charge of that. You want to see? I don't get it. Somebody is sick, he is unconscious. You go, you are admitted, especially in Yaoundé, they send you out to go buy drugs. I have met some people.
You are admitted.
You are admitted, and they come and give you a receipt. Go and buy your drugs. It's a pity that we are talking about this on air when everybody seems to be a patient. Because I don't see that. My brother was admitted at Lekentini Hospital in Douala some months back. I was so shocked and surprised that they came in the morning. They just say, we need to pay certain advancement. Meanwhile, we have used enough in that place. And at least I have explained them certain things. And they could, in fact, have pity on us, but they did not. You write a paper and instruct somebody that this is where to go and get the drugs from this particular pharmacy. You're doing business when people are not well. Mr. Tabi?
Okay. It's true that we still have a few minutes to conclude. Each speaker will have a minute as we conclude. And I would like us to be frank. We are concluding. And I will begin with you, Blessed. Your last word before we go.
My last word before we go is that the government should stop putting people to test. That is what I will say. Because to an extent, it seems they were like trying to see if the 50,000 francs caution will actually work. But because of the so much noise, they discovered that it cannot go. And that is why the minister had to rush in quickly and say, no, let it be cancelled. Yes, so they should stop putting us to test. They should do the right thing. And they should appoint people into offices that are morally upright to an extent. Because you need to be morally upright to be able to do things that are actually right. Coming up with such a communique of a caution be of 50,000 francs, I don't think you're morally upright. It means you don't look at the people of the lower class. Yes, it means to an extent you don't have human feelings. It means if someone comes into your hospital and the person is dying, you can allow that person to die. By the way, that is what this government has even made us to understand, that they don't care about our lives.
No, you say they don't care.
They don't care about our lives because 1,001 people have been killed down there in the
when the reaction is immediate. When the reaction is immediate after the decision.
It is immediate because they saw the commotion. they actually saw that it seems Cameroonians are gradually rising up.
So they bother, they care about the lives of the people. In a minute, Mba, we are concluding.
Yeah, actually, Mr. Tabi, in the minute, I believe that it's just another scandal under still the Ministry of Public Health. Remember that there was a scandal under the Ministry of Public Health, and I want to believe that, just to remind and to note that Cameroonians lost their life still on that scandal of the COVID. We lost about 3,000 to 4,000 citizens. And accountability about the death has not yet been, because we know of individuals that were killed simply because they wanted to add the number. I'm accountable of my statement. Secondly, Mr. Tabi, do you know of recent, a guy drove the bike, arrived somewhere, and on the bike like that, the guy died. Is everywhere in the newspaper. And those are the characteristics to tell you that something is wrong, because I think that when you find yourself in a situation where maybe you are not feeling well, you need to rush to the hospital. But maybe with such type of amount that was put in place, why maybe the guy was not able to afford that amount, and today the guy just...
The decision was taken, and 2-3 hours after the decision,
so
it was cancelled.
What I am saying is that even before, if you want to look vividly, you discover that even before that decision was taken, you don't know if they started collecting that money. They started collecting the 50,000 francs before coming out with that. Because if you look at the communique,
before making such a declaration, you have to investigate.
If you look at that communique, it was an authoritative communique that no doctor should admit. It means that it has been something that...
It means that patients have been running with bills.
Not... But
it means that patients have been running with bills.
This is just one out of a million, because there are several hospitals where that is going on. But yet, they have not yet made it known. So it is the minister's place to make sure that he verifies that particular aspect, because it is actually happening, where people are unable to maybe pay bills, or people get to hospital, they ask you for a deposit, and you are unable, and they allow you there. Seriously.
Okay, so what I'm saying is that, please, I'm still out asking for the issue that was put in this donut, because donut put in place the Universal Recovering Health Program, and they came from various sectors like World Health Organization that I just mentioned. And I expect that government, at least we are the position that they know that our country is at crisis, we have economic crisis, things are even hard. That is why they came out to push money, to send money into the health sector, but Cameroonians are not benefiting on that. So it is high time for the Ministry of Public Health to tell us. It's like they took the money from the international donor and kept the money from the... Because honestly, we are not benefiting from anything in aspect to that. Okay. So if the government cannot provide even medical attention to its own citizens, what else would the government provide to us?
Thank you, Mba. Thank you for coming.
Thank you,
Blessed, for coming. I hope I will see you again in the program. In 30 seconds, Lambert, we are concluding.
Thank you, Tabi. I must say that at least if everything is not free in Cameroon, health should be free, because education is very expensive. And health should not equally be expensive. Before taking those type of hasty decisions, I call them, at least let the director consult his minister, if at all he's working under the minister. And remember, there is what I keep saying. This Tumi Kone should be wiped out.
Tumi
Kone, je suis ceci, c'est là. Et ça fait quoi? Tumi Kone, je vais te quoi? Cameroonians should stop dragging, in fact, and behaving like people who are in foreign land. We are in our land, and they should not make the land to be very scary for others to survive.
We should avoid Tumi Kone. We say thank you for coming, Lambert. Thank you, Blessed. Thank you, Mba. It's on this note that we put an end to this another edition of the papers. It's true that we have to remove, I love that, we have to remove Tumi Kone, because we are all the sons and daughters of the land, the sons and daughters of the Republic, the sons and daughters of Cameroon. Our country, we are one and we are indivisible. We say thanks for watching. Take another appointment same time next week with yet another edition of the papers. Stay tuned as programs continue on Cam 10 television, and may the Almighty God continue to bless the Republic.